You are an inspiration as a woman, as a press freedom advocate, and thank you for this tremendous honour.
With the leadership of the UK, this can actually be pushed forward.
Current crisis, we've just made a series of donations to cover frontline health workers in the UK, food banks, old people's homes in the communities where we live.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, the place where the British royals never fail to deliver drama, intrigue, and those game-changing moments that keep the world on edge. And today, buckle up, because the palace has just dropped a bombshell. Amal Clooney, the world-renowned human rights lawyer, is officially teaming up with Princess Catherine on a bold new global initiative under the Princesses Trust, aimed squarely at protecting women and children's rights. This powerhouse alliance is already being called one of the most consequential royal partnerships in decades. But here's the twist, it's also stirring up whispers of rivalry, because it comes on the heels of reports that Amal turned down an invitation from Meghan Markle to appear in her Netflix project. Coincidence, or calculated move? Let's break this down. We're diving into this story in 8 parts, exploring how this partnership came to be, what it means, and why it's got everyone talking. Let's start with the two women at the heart of this unfolding saga. Amal Clooney, a global legal powerhouse, a barrister specializing in international law and human rights. Her resume reads like a United Nations wish list. She's defended victims of atrocities, pushed for press freedom, and co-founded the Clooney Foundation for Justice, which has taken on everything from child marriage to wrongful imprisonment in more than 40 countries. Amal isn't just a lawyer, she's a force of nature. And importantly, this isn't her first brush with royalty. Back in 2019, she worked directly with King Charles, then Prince of Wales, to launch the Amal Clooney Women's Empowerment Award through what was then Prince's Trust International. In short, Amal is no stranger to palace corridors. Now enter Princess Catherine. She has spent years carefully crafting her public role, becoming the royal family's steady hand. Her initiatives around early childhood development, mental health, and family welfare have made her a trusted figure both inside and outside the palace. From the Shaping Us campaign to her advocacy for baby banks and vulnerable families, Catherine has earned a reputation for serious, sustained work, the kind of slow-burn credibility that makes people listen. Both women are mothers. Both juggle immense public scrutiny while trying to shield their children from the relentless spotlight. Both are passionate advocates for change. It was only a matter of time before their worlds collided. But this announcement didn't just appear out of nowhere. The road here was paved with months of speculation. For much of 2025, royal watchers were buzzing. What would Amal's next big move be? After years of straddling Hollywood's glitter and the grim realities of global human rights, her silence was noticeable. And then came the rumors. Reports surfaced that Meghan Markle, through her Archewell Foundation and her Netflix Lifestyle Meets Philanthropy series, With Love, Meghan, had personally reached out to Amal Clooney. The pitch was obvious. Meghan's focus on women's empowerment matched Amal's resume. It seemed like a natural fit, but Amal said no. Insiders claimed she was wary of the project's commercial tone, more brand building than world building. Amal, they said, prefers substance over spectacle. And in that quiet refusal, the seeds of a much bigger shift were planted. It wasn't just about saying no to Meghan. It was about where Amal said yes. Let's not forget, Amal and George Clooney were once counted among Harry and Meghan's inner circle. They attended the couple's 2018 royal wedding. They hosted them at their Italian villa. For a while, it looked like a glamorous friendship destined to last. But look closer, and the cracks have been visible for years. The Clooneys didn't show up to key Sussex events. Harry and Meghan were absent from the Clooneys Albee Awards. The once warm ties cooled into a polite distance. So when Amal turned down Meghan's Netflix project, and then resurfaced on the arm of Princess Catherine, the symbolism. And then came the thunderclap. Kensington Palace announced Amal Clooney is officially joining forces with Princess Catherine to launch the Princesses Trust Initiative, a global program to protect women and children's rights. The initiative will focus on 3 key areas. 1. Legal aid for survivors of violence. 2. Education for children in crisis zones. 3. Community networks to combat exploitation. Amal brings her legal firepower. Catherine brings her on-the-ground advocacy and Royal Foundation support. Together, they are crafting a strategy that blends policy lobbying at the UN with grassroots aid projects across the globe. The palace even confirmed that the first global summit will take place in London later this year, with pilot programs launching in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. A £5 million commitment has already been pledged for the first phase. The announcement wasn't just strategic, it was pointed. It arrived mere weeks after reports of Meghan's failed Netflix outreach, practically daring comparisons between Catherine's institution-backed initiative and Meghan's media-driven project. Now let's break down what makes the Princess's Trust initiative different. This isn't a flashy PR campaign. It's built on 3 serious, measurable pillars. Legal empowerment. Amal will lead efforts to provide survivors of violence with access to legal aid and to push for international reforms around gender-based violence. Education. Funds will go directly into programs, ensuring children in war-torn regions can access schooling. Community support. Grants will strengthen grassroots organizations fighting against child exploitation. It's a project designed for substance, not photo ops. For impact, not Instagram likes. Behind the scenes, insiders say Amal was deeply impressed by Catherine's quiet diplomacy. Unlike Hollywood-styled philanthropy, Catherine's work has always been less about star power and more about steady results. During early strategy meetings, Amal reportedly praised Catherine's authentic compassion. The two bonded as mothers, discussing the unique pressures of raising children under constant scrutiny. Amal spoke of protecting her twins, Ella and Alexander, from paparazzi harassment. Catherine shared her determination to give George, Charlotte, and Louis as normal a childhood as possible. It was this personal connection, rooted in shared values, that transformed the partnership from professional convenience into something much deeper. But we can't ignore the elephant in the room, Meghan Markle. The timing of this announcement is brutal. Amal's partnership with Catherine was revealed shortly after she declined Meghan's Netflix invitation. Tabloids wasted no time framing it as a snub. Reports suggest Meghan has struggled to secure big-name guests for her show. Amal's absence was particularly glaring, especially given their past closeness. Critics pounced, portraying Amal's choice as a public endorsement of Catherine's institutional path over Meghan's independent, Hollywood-infused ventures. And here's the kicker. Amal's move highlighted the growing divide between two competing models of royal philanthropy. Meghan's model, celebrity-driven, media-amplified, focused on storytelling and lifestyle branding. Catherine's model, institution-backed, quietly strategic, focused on measurable long-term impact. Which one carries more weight? That's the debate lighting up royal forums right now. What makes this so seismic is that it's not just about Amal and Catherine. It's about the monarchy itself. By partnering with Amal, Catherine is positioning herself as a global player in human rights, not just a ribbon-cutting royal. She's signaling that the future of the monarchy lies in substance, not ceremony. Amal's involvement lends unimpeachable credibility. You can argue with Catherine's titles, but you can't argue with Amal's track record in international courts. Together, they're elevating royal philanthropy to a new standard. And for Meghan, the contrast couldn't be sharper. While Archewell continues to push for change, its Hollywood framing is increasingly being cast, at least by critics, as flashy but shallow. Amal's choice to align with Catherine may well tilt elite circles toward the palace, leaving Meghan to re-strategize her approach. And that brings us to the cliffhanger. We've explored how Amal and Catherine came together, why the partnership matters, and how it's reshaping the royal landscape. But this is only half the story. For decades, royal charity work has often been dismissed as ceremonial, glamorous galas, ribbon cuttings, and photo ops with smiling children. But Catherine and Amal's project is something else entirely. By targeting legal empowerment, education, and community networks, they're tackling root causes of injustice, not just symptoms. It's a deliberate pivot toward systemic, measurable change, the kind of advocacy usually reserved for major NGOs like UNICEF or the Gates Foundation. Insiders say Catherine is determined to future-proof the monarchy's role in philanthropy. She doesn't want her projects to fade into the background once the headlines move on. Instead, she's focusing on accountability, transparency, and global reach. This is why Amal matters. Her legal record, from defending Yazidi women against ISIS to freeing imprisoned journalists, lends gravitas no royal could achieve alone. Catherine's platform gives scale. Together, they're creating a fusion of influence and expertise. This isn't about prestige, it's about permanence. But while Catherine's star rises, Meghan Markle's situation looks more complicated. Her Archewell Foundation has produced some impactful projects, funding mental health support, championing gender equity, and promoting digital safety. Yet, much of Archul's visibility has come through commercial deals, Spotify, Netflix, and media collaborations. And that's where the contrast bites. Amal's decision to align with Catherine highlights a tension Meghan can't easily escape. Critics argue Meghan's philanthropic model feels too Hollywood, too entertainment-focused, which risks diluting its credibility. Amal's rejection of the Netflix cameo and her embrace of Catherine's institutional initiative almost feels like a public verdict on which approach carries more weight in elite circles. Of course, Meghan's supporters fire back. They argue that her strength lies in storytelling and relatability, qualities that attract younger, more global audiences. Not every initiative has to look like a UN summit. Meghan's path might simply be different, not lesser. But perception is everything in royal circles. And right now, the perception is that Amal chose Catherine's lane over Meghan's. One reason this alliance resonates so strongly is its authenticity. Catherine and Amal aren't just powerful women. They are mothers, and they've bonded over that shared reality, raising children under relentless scrutiny while trying to carve meaningful lives. In early meetings, insiders say their conversations often drifted to family. Amal's twins, Ella and Alexander, Catherine's three, George, Charlotte, and Louis. Both women fiercely guard their children's privacy, and both know what it's like to have family life become public property. That shared authenticity bleeds into their initiative. This isn't a glossy PR stunt. It's two women channeling their lived experiences into something real. And audiences can feel that difference. Zoom out, and this partnership signals something far bigger, the monarchy itself evolving. Gone are the days when royals could rely solely on pomp and pageantry. Today's public demands substance, action, transparency, accountability. By aligning with Amal, Catherine is showing she's not afraid to tackle hard, global issues like gender-based violence and child exploitation. This positions her not just as the future queen consort, but as a serious advocate for change on the world stage. It's a move that also strengthens the monarchy's relevance in an era of skepticism. The institution knows it can't survive on tradition alone. It has to adapt. And Catherine's initiative with Amal looks like a blueprint for how that adaptation can work. So where does this leave Meghan Markle? Some commentators say she now faces a crossroads. To remain competitive in the advocacy space, she may need to pivot, either by doubling down on storytelling or by proving Archul's projects can deliver the same systemic impact as Catherine's royal foundation. Others argue Meghan doesn't need to compete at all. By carving out her own niche, media-driven, personal, emotionally resonant, she can reach audiences Catherine and Amal might never connect with. But the optics are undeniable. Amal's partnership with Catherine casts a long shadow. Meghan may find herself needing to reframe her work, not just as meaningful, but as impactful enough to rival institutional efforts. And make no mistake, the world is watching. Advocacy groups like UNICEF and Women's Aid have already praised the Princess's Trust initiative, calling it a game-changer. Social media platforms, from Twitter to TikTok, are buzzing with hashtags like #AmalAndCatherine and #PrincessTrustGlobal. Supporters hail it as a new era for royal philanthropy. Skeptics wonder if it's just clever branding,